I've had some lovely stuff delivered, and one is a bit of a mystery that I hope you people can help me with. Now, the lovely stuff I've had delivered is from Let's Resin. We have got the chrome powders. Looking forward to playing with those. We've got some black epoxy resin pigment paste. Well, I do use a lot of black, so that's great. And the other thing they've sent me is the axolotl mould. So look out for an axolotl video coming to your screen soon. Anyway, no, this is the mystery I want you to help me with, people. Some lovely person has very kindly bought me this little set of moulds that I'd got my eye on. It was in my Amazon wish list. It arrived today and I have no idea who bought it for me. Now, normally Amazon put a little note in with it and you get the little message from the gifter. But there was nothing. There was just the little package. So whoever you are, thank you so much, because I really did fancy this little mould set. It's gorgeous. It's a little baby dragon. So whoever you are, please would you make yourself known? I really appreciate it. Let's get it out and have a look, because we're going to be using these Let's Resin materials in it. We have the cutest baby dragon there. We have, I think these are dragons in sections. Look, there's his little legs and his wings and his little body. So I've never had one quite like that before. Then I presume you put the two halves together. I don't know. Let's see. And this, I believe, is his egg. So let's have some fun. As I said, going to get these Let's Resin chrome powders on the go, because this seems like a really great opportunity to try them. So let's get them out of the packaging. Also, of course, must say to Let's Resin, thank you very, very much for the goodies you've sent me. Oh, it comes with a little brush as well. That's nice. Here's our little brush. Let's get that out ready. And let's have a look at these colours. This is nice because I've actually got some spare shelf space. I've been having a clear out. Oh, look at that. I've been having a clear out of pots that were pretty much empty. These are lovely. Holographic pink. I'm going to have to put these down. I'll put them on this side so you can still see them. Purple. You know what I'm like with purple. Holographic silver. Blue. Royal blue. That's beautiful. Green. Lovely gold. Oh, that says blue. That looks more like teal to me. It's a greeny blue. Beautiful. This is now going to obviously give me that problem of which the heck colours to use. Anyway, I'm going to take a seat because as usual I'm standing up. I do a bit of camera adjusting and microphone position adjusting, and let's have a play. Then, make sure I'm properly in shot. Right, let's do the egg first, because I don't know quite how I'm going to get in there to do it. Can you turn it inside out? You might be able to. Oh, that's going to be easy then. This is a nice sticky silicone as well. I reckon it's going to be quite easy to get the powders to stick to it. What colour would a dragon's egg be? Should we go for this? I'm intrigued by this bluey, greeny, this one. And then, of course, at the end, we'll do what I typically do with chameleon powders and other different sorts of powders that we put onto our resin. I will back it with that black that we've just been sent. This colour's gorgeous. Look at that. So this is a chrome finish rather than the chameleon. So it should just be that colour and shiny. Though I will have a play with these moulds with the chameleon powders as well at some point. So I'll speed you up because I'm just going to keep doing this until the whole thing's covered. A dragon came from above to break the evil spell. With shimmering scales of gold, and eyes so bright and green, a garden so bold, protecting what's serene. Oh, dragon defender, flying high in the sky, brave and mighty with a heart that won't die. Right, that's all done. Let's see if there we go. It was easy to pop it back through the right way. Let's have a little clean up. Probably not necessary, but I do like to. And yes, I've made an almighty mess. So clean up time. Right, and the next. Let's do our little dragon. I think this one needs to be in red, doesn't it? I think it should be red. I'll try and get some different colours in here actually. Let's find a little pot and we'll put a little bit of alcohol. I'll get a little fine brush. There we go, there's a fine one. Maybe we can get some gold into the tips, something like that. Let's get the gold lid off first. Oops. See why I get it everywhere, can't you? Oh. Okay, let's put a little bit into our alcohol. This is a good way of getting just your colour into the bits that you want. Right, so the gold is like an antique gold. It's quite dark. Interesting. Oops. So let's see if we can get some along his spine. And because I've mixed it with alcohol, it should puddle into the bottom of the mould. Let's get a little bit on his wings. See what I mean? It's running around into the details. And then of course the alcohol will just, that will just dry off. And we should end up with it just where we wanted it, more or less, but we can have a little white brown as well. A little foot there. A little foot. Let's put a little foot. Didn't want it in his knee. Oh, I could do. Yeah, actually, look, because he's textured, that's running into the dots of his scales. So, yeah, let's go with the flow on that. And is that a little spike on his head? It might be. Again, let's go with the flow a bit. Just thinking it'll pick out some little... There's his other little foot, look. It'll just pick out some little bits of detail. That's what I'm going for. So, lid back on. Knowing my luck, I'll knock it and it'll go everywhere otherwise. And another wipe. So I'm just going to go around and wipe off any surplus. Hopefully just leaving it in the bits I wanted it in. This is going to be so cute. Right, and we're going to go in with the red. I'm keeping the colour scheme pretty simple on this. I don't know, I might fade it into the purpley pinky colour somewhere along the line. What's the... This holographic pink sounds nice, doesn't it? The red and the purple. What's that one? Rose red. That's like a deep pink. So let's see if we can fade him through. Should we have red at the front? Just hoping that gold has dried because I haven't given it very long. Oh, it's like a deep plummy red, but with a bit of a gold sheen to it. Nice. And it's picking up the gold from underneath as well because I don't think it's dried completely, but some of it will have stuck to the mould, so that's okay. Let's go for purple tips on the wings. So let's do the front of the wings in the red. Fade it out a little bit, like so. And then his body, I kind of want it mostly red. Let's go around like that. And then, like I said, it'll fade to purple into his tail. That's the idea anyway. Oh, got some in his wings where I didn't want it, so let's take that out. Might have to put the gold back in as a result. I'm so khaki-handed today. Does anybody else use that term, khaki-handed? It's something my mum and dad used to say. So that's our red. This is all looking very messy inside the mould, by the way. Right, a bit of gold back in the tips of his wings. I definitely should have let that dry a bit better. And then what I'm going to do is do what I call a splash coat, and that's to go around with the purple as the last coat that's all over, and then that will pick up any bits I've missed. So while that's drying, let's just make sure I haven't missed any major parts. And I also want to fade the red through like that. Shake off any surplus. Now, of course, if I didn't get any of the gold where I really wanted it, then I can just go around with a little gold pen afterwards. I've got some of the Resin metallic markers, which are pretty awesome. Right, where did our purple go? I'm going to do the other little dragon. I think at least some of the blue, because I want to see what that blue's like. So here we go with the purple. And the purple, oh, it's a nice fuchsia purple, really, isn't it? So like I said, I'm going to use the purple as a splash coat. I call it that. I don't know if there's a proper term for it, but a coat where you just go around everything. Because whatever's on the mould first and sticks to the mould first will be the colour you see. So this is just intended to pick up any bits that I've missed, although the black resin behind it will too. And Obviously I wanted the tail purple anyway. I wonder how shiny this is going to be. Say that it's billed as a chrome powder. So let's see. It certainly looks good on the inside of the mould, doesn't it? It can be fun filling all these up. I'm going to have to make a lot of black resin, aren't I? Probably not strictly necessary to do this, but I just think it's easier for you to see what's going on if I've cleaned up a little bit around the sides of the mould. See the shape of the little critter, and also I can see easier if I've got any overspill going on. All right, now this little fella, I'm just looking carefully at the mould and I can see here there's little flat patches, which must be where you attach things like the wings. Now the wings seem to go down and under. There's a little flap, so I'm going to have to make sure I get the resin in there. Let's give him purple wings because I've still got some purple on my brush. Trying to make sure I get right into the nooks and crannies there. And this one I'm not going to worry about gold highlights anywhere because I will just use my metallic marker pens to do that after. Right, I think I've got everywhere in there. And then I wanted to use the blue, didn't I? I fancy this pale blue as well. Isn't that beautiful? That is a beautiful blue, isn't it? It's like a royal blue. So let's see if we can get that pretty much all up his back, up his spikes, everywhere. I'm going to wipe some off his tummy. I'm getting it all over his tummy at the moment because I want to get it down into the lines. He's got some little details in his tummy. So I'm going to put that all over. And then with his little leggies, I'm going to see if I can get some of that pale blue in there, because that just looks too pretty not to. And also in this area in his tummy that I've made sure I've got it into the grooves. Okay, if anybody would like to sing Madonna's Into the Groove at this point, please make sure your microphone's off. Unless you actually can sing, of course. I can't. People pay me not to sing. I did have a go at karaoke once. No, actually twice. Singing, like dancing and playing darts, they're things I think I can do when I'm drunk. And somebody shows me a video after and I was very, very wrong. So no, they won't sing. Sorry, I'm waffling again, aren't I? Right, so he's got little arms. Let's use a micro brush, because what I want to do is put a little bit of this dark blue at the start of his arms and legs. I presume this will be the start. So that where I join it, it doesn't look too sudden. But I want to then fade it into that pale blue. There we go. Let's hope that gives me the fade that I'm after. In case you're wondering how I'm cleaning my brush between colours, by the way, either you can get proper brush cleaners, or you can wipe it on your mat like that, or you can use probably the best brush cleaning thing ever, and that's your jeans. I've now got multicoloured jeans. It's not attractive, and I'll probably have very sparkly clothes out of our next wash. And the one after that. Still wondering, maybe I should have done the eyes in green. I wonder if I can get that back off with a dot of alcohol and a couple of micro brushes. It's quite recessed, so that's actually not too difficult. Oh, that means I can probably do that as well. That's interesting. See where his little patterns are? You can be as fiddly and faffy with this as you like, really, can't you? And fussy. Right, I'm going to let that dry, because that is now wet with alcohol and it's going to need to dry. In the meantime, I will clean up and then we'll just chuck in some green. Right, so all I'm doing now is making sure that blue has gone all up around the edges where I wanted it, because I don't want a line where the two parts of the little guy meet up. There we are. I think I've got it there. Now, the green. I'm going to do his tummy differently as well, wasn't I? So what we're going to do is wipe it off from his tummy. And what we should have is it's left a little bit of blue in there. So the idea is we get a little bit of blue, but quite a lot of green. So, right, just going to tap this off. clean up again while that is drying. And now we're going to go in with the green. So we'll have worked our way through most of these colours actually. There's my little lid opening tool. These are my precision cutters actually. I just find them really useful for doing that with. Now, I've had a spectacular metallic green in the past that was intended for nail art. So I am dying to see how this compares, because I think it's going to be very similar. And if so, I'll be very pleased, because I can't find that colour anymore. And it was exceptionally nice. It looks an awful lot like it. Great stuff. Now we're going to dab into his eye. And those bits that I cleared, burnish it in a little bit. And I've just noticed a patch on the other dragon where I've missed a bit in his tail. So there we go, do that. Right, I think we're there, folks, with colouring all the parts. I hope whoever treated me to these little moulds is watching, because I'd hate for them to not see this. I'm hating that Amazon didn't tell me who it was, unless it was intended to be an anonymous gift. If so, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened, but last time I had a little note with it that said anonymous gift. This time there was nothing. I've had a lovely lady a few months ago buy me some clay sculpting tools off my list as well, Melissa. And Melissa, I haven't forgotten, I will get to do something with those, because I want to sculpt some bases for inlays. That was the main reason I wanted those, but also other things. I've got a few things lined up for those. Right, we're going to get some black resin mixed up, so it's gloves time. Let's see what our pigment paste is like from Let's Resin. So I've absolutely no idea how much resin I'm going to need here. But this is Apex High Gloss. Just going to get it stirred up. You know, the usual routine. Stir slowly until, a lot slower than I do, because I will end up with bubbles, and you shouldn't really. Stir it slowly until you've lost the milkiness and the stringiness look out of it, so that it's gone lovely and clear. Then mix your colour in, because that way you know that you've mixed your resin properly. Whereas once you mix the colour in, you can't see that it's gone clear. There we go. It's nice and clear. So let's see what this paste's like. I'm going to give it a shake, just in case the pigment in it has settled in transit. And let's put a couple of drops in, see how strong the colour is. One. Oops. I've got fans going in here, look, you can tell. See how my pigment's ended up all up the side of the cup. I'll soon grab that and pull it down. It's really hot in the craft room at the moment, which is quite funny considering it's just the start of April. I just hope the weather holds, because I am actually away for a couple of days. Well, look at that. That was very little pigment. And it's gone a beautiful thick black. Let's do the little egg first. So the way I'm going to do this is pour it in slowly, let it go down the sides, which it's gradually doing, and then do this. And that's just to release any trapped bubbles. And I think it's not got a hole in the bottom, so I can't grab it and squish it like that. So I'm going to do it like this. Just make sure, while it's only part full, that we've released any bubbles. Because there's right angles in the bottom of there, aren't there? And it's that does tend to trap bubbles. So a little bit more, let it go down. In the meantime, we'll do the same with the little dragon. Now, I think these little guys have got awkward spots, little spikes on their heads. Are they ears? You know what I mean. Cute little details on their heads. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, squishing the mould around. Hopefully we've got into all those nooks and crannies. But I find this the easiest way to avoid bubbles is to fill them up a bit at a time. Let it settle. You know what I mean, when you get bubbles trapped in those little corners. And this one, I think, his points are down that way, aren't they? So what I'm going to do is tip it up like that. And squish it, like so. Now you can see the surplus of those chrome powders floating up. Rather pretty. So how are we doing here? I think this one's nearly full. What I'm just going to do is do that a little bit, because then if there's any bubbles trapped under these top edges, hopefully that will allow them to come out. It looks like they are. I've mixed up rather more than I need, I think. Can fill this one right up now. We'll soon see if the mould's level this way as well. Because right now, my table is quite level. I have wedged another nail file under the end of it. This might be easier with a pipette or a syringe, these little tiny bits. I tend to go for the overfill them and hope for the best route with these at such tiny pieces, because you can sort it out afterwards if you need to. A little bit of filing and such, but also what you can do is get your little stirring stick or anything else like that, a lollipop stick or whatever, and do that, and you'll clear any surplus off the surface and make sure that they're all full, and that works surprisingly well. There we are. So I've made a bit of a mess, and these little guys, I'm just going to encourage the resin into all the little points and things. Going to need a little bit more, obviously, and I think also the wings will want a drip more, so literally drip. And I hope, let's just push this a little bit because there is a little lip there. I want to make sure that we've got under that lip right into the tip of his little wings. I think so. That's suddenly gone down, so I think that I've just got it into the tips there. Right, that looks like the wings done to me. Almighty mess has ensued. I'm excited to see what these come out like. I will have to have a go with the chameleon powders on them, won't I, though? Little dragons are just crying out for chameleon powders, aren't they? Wonder how well these will go together. It's the body, the main body, because I mean, I assume that's how it's meant to work, that you put it together to make it into one dragon. Because I have had ones where you do that before and they don't, I can never get the join very good. We'll see. Having said that, these are a much simpler shape. It might work better than the ones I've tried before. Well, there we go. I think we are pretty much filled up. And that's it. We're going to wait now for them to... Well, obviously I'm going to clear up and I've got to find something to put this in. Because there's time. Shall we do the egg first? I'm dying to see what these moulds look like. Oh, yes, and overnight. I have posted on my community tab. Oh, look at that crap. Yeah, sorry, I've been distracted by the shiny. I posted on my community tab, would whoever bought me these moulds, please let me know who you are. And a lady called Maxine has replied, it was her. Thank you so much, Maxine. I really did fancy these. They're lovely. It's so kind of you. There's his little egg, which is actually just a cute little pot in its own right. And you see it's got some dribble marks and bits of texture on it here and there. I obviously missed a bit with the powder, but it doesn't matter. But while we're here, do enjoy that powder. Isn't that lovely? Now that one was really quite sparkly. I think the other ones are less sparkly, more chrome. What should we do next? Let's do this little guy. You can see some of that surplus powder has risen up to the surface, so it's pretty back on them as well. Oh, look at him. Oh, isn't he gorgeous? I like that. Some areas of it are shiny. That's an interesting mould. Some areas are shiny and some are matte, so you've got a bit of a different effect here and there. How nice is that? And you can see the different effects of the chrome powder. You've got this lovely satin effect here, and then you've got this extreme shine and sparkle over here. Oh, that's a gorgeous little mould. And now this one I'm going to have to try and assemble, aren't I? So this is going to be fun. Oh, that's worked well. You've got little slots here where to put his arms and legs. So we'll have a go at that in a minute. How well do they fit together is the question. I tried not to over pour these so I'd end up with a nice flat back. Oh, they fit really well. So it's going to be down to my skill of actually gluing them straight. And that's, oh look, there's the little dinks where his wings go as well. That's actually really neat. And big thumbs up again to the chrome powders. Look at that. Lovely. You know what, that's trying to stick already. I'll do it properly in a moment. Let's have a look at his little wings. And this was the purple, wasn't it? Oh, look. I can actually think of a multitude of uses for those. If Lula's watching, she'll know what I mean. It's going to be fun assembling him, isn't it? It's his little arms. And this, if you remember, I faded the dark blue into the light blue. That's worked really well, hasn't it? I'll report back shortly on how easy it is to assemble him afterwards. Get me a little bit of overspill off from where I over poured and scraped the surface. The fades worked on his little legs as well. I have to say, I'm loving these chrome powders. I need to get my nails done with them, don't I? This is a really nice mould. The whole set, in fact. It's nice silicone. They've demoulded really easily. Smashing. Thank you again, Maxine. Right. Be back in a bit, we'll get the gluing together done. Right, let's try sticking this little guy together. Let's try some false nail glue. This is quite a thick one that I've had for ages, and I only ever use it for crafts as I don't have false nails. So it's a throwback to the days when I did. So let's see if that works. Hold him tight together. It lines up well. Right, I'm just going to sit and hold him for a sec. You don't need to see that, do you? And then we'll try his wings and everything else if this has worked. Looking good, it seems to be fixing. So I'm just worried I'll disturb it if I try the other parts. Yeah, I'm going to let that cure properly. I tell you what though, in the meantime, should we colour the little eyes in on this little guy? I'm going to go for silver. This is a really fine tip silver pen. It's one of those liquid chrome mirror effect pens. So let's give it a try. Put my glasses on. That'll be fiddly. Oh, his eyes are shut. Oh, I don't need to then, do I? It's going to leave it. That fair enough. He can stay like that then. What I am going to do though is get a gold and just touch the tips of his claws and things in a little bit more. And I've got the Let's Resin one here. So let's just run along his spine a little bit. Not too much, just a bit. Just to brighten it a little bit. And the tips of his little claws. Maybe the tips of these a little bit. I think I'm going to leave it at that. There's a danger of overdoing it, isn't there? Isn't he adorable? I didn't realise he was asleep. Can you see his little eyes? Isn't that lovely? Right, has this stuck? That's looking pretty good. I think we can use this glue. Just a cheap one. I've probably got it off Amazon. So, a little bit of glue. Let's have a leg. This will be the right one, won't it? Make sure I've got no surplus bits of resin around the edges. Oh, that's easy to position. You know what? These are surprisingly good little moulds. I wonder if he'll stand up. Once that's stuck, I'm going to flip him over and do the other one. We'll do his wings as well, but I don't want to disturb that now I've got it stuck. I do like the little egg. Oh, that one will fit in it as well. What I might do is put some crystals in there and then sit the little dragons in it. This one fits in it, definitely, because it was in the picture. His little leg's stuck on. Let's turn it over and do the other little leg. I don't know whether he'll stand up properly after this. I don't know whether I've got the legs in exactly the right position, but we'll see. Where's his other leg? Oh, there it is. Thought I lost his leg then. I was going to say, oh, disaster. I'm getting super glue all over my nap fingers, or whatever it is, nail glue. That brings back some memories. So I used to have false nails when I was working on cars all the time. People doesn't know I'm rather into classic cars. And cleaning engines wasn't good for nails. Oh, come on, why aren't you staying in place? The other one did. Now attempt to get nail glue off my hands. Oh, thank goodness for Wonder Wipes. So while these little legs are curing, because I'm impatient, I'm going to put the little line in his eye. And this is an acrylic marker pen that just happens to have a nice brush tip on one end, which is really handy for little details like this. Little dots in his nose. See, I didn't really get the centre lined up terribly well there. Put another coat over that. And I might also go over it with ultraviolet curing resin, because that's always good for making eyes look shiny, isn't it? They like him a lot. Which arm is which? Right, so that's that one. That must be this one, mustn't it? So tweezers, here we go. This is a very cleverly done little mould. I'm sure I could have fixed the two parts together better than that. I'm sure I could have. I'll copy this into my Amazon storefront, by the way, in case anybody wants this little mould. And please do post and show me the things you do with it. What we can do while that's curing. Let's do that ultraviolet on these eyes. Now I'm going to put a little blob on my mat here. Not much left in this bottle, I need a new one out. And I'm going to sacrifice the paintbrush. I might be able to clean it actually. I don't know whether I'm actually sacrificing it. And I'm going to do this, doesn't it? So let's do the other one. And I'll also cure the blob that's on my mat, because I can get that off at the same time, can't I? Let's see if I can clean this brush up. Sorted. We didn't sacrifice a brush after all. So this is looking good so far, isn't it? Is that cured? Oops, not quite. Actually, I've just had an idea. What I might do to tidy up that, I might use some flourish paste to cover up my incompetence. You can do, I tell you what, flourish paste is awesome. You can hide things with it, as well as it being a lovely stuff to use. Tricks of the trade, you see. Or cheats, depending on how you look at it. The wings are going to be fun. Let's actually try for the wings. Now I think I'm going to have to sit and hold these in place. I don't think I can turn... Can I turn him onto his tummy? I think I can probably turn him a bit. Let's go like that. A little bit of glue in the wing cavity. Now, which wing's which? That one, isn't it? So this must be this one. Right, got it. Right, I'm going to hold that for a second. So my brainwave, while I'm letting those glue properly, it was to try a bit of flourish paste and to disguise the join. And I haven't really got the exact right colour, but I'm wondering if I can get away with a little touch of Caspian blue, Caspian sea rather. Whether that might... Oh, I'm trying to be careful picking him up. Might hide that gap. Not sure. It looks as if it might, actually. Probably make it a stronger seal too. And it's a kind of appropriate colour, so I can blend it in a bit. If you get some of this, by the way, be careful, because if you get it on your hands, it's so heavily pigmented and it's incredibly sticky, it isn't going to come off stuff very easily at all. It's like a texture paste. And it's obviously got an awful lot of a very strong binder in it. Got a green one as well called Rainforest that might work for his tummy. Let's see what happens there. Always put another... See what I mean? I think even my Wonder Wipes will struggle to get that off. I think that's working. Let's let that cure. I'm going to try a bit of green across his tummy as well. Now I haven't even opened this one, but it's called Rainforest. Really should put some gloves on, shouldn't I? Oh, it's a very dark green. See what that's like when it's mixed up. Oh, nice. Oh, this one's a bit thicker. They do seem to vary a little bit. Maybe I didn't stir the other one enough. Isn't that nice? Oh, lovely stuff. And it is an actual pasty. And let's try the same with his tummy. I've managed to get his arms in two slightly different positions, which looks quite sweet, doesn't it? Oh, hey, I tell you what. I hadn't thought about using this as a colourant for stuff like this, but doesn't that work well? That is just blending in with the green that I didn't get quite as thoroughly into position as I hoped. I think this will be just the job. You can see how thick it is. Look, it doesn't even settle in the pot. It doesn't self-level. Well, it does, but it takes forever because it's so thick. Isn't it ideal for doing this with as a result? That'll do, I think. So it's around the front here that I'm mostly worried about. Another use for flourish paste. There we are. Right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to let that all cure up. He does stand up, look. Right, I'm going to let that cure properly and then we'll put the wings on because I'm just worried I'm going to break his little arms off. This one is really thick, gloopy paste. Great for details. This one's called Valley of the Kings because it's gold. See what I mean? That's really thick and gloopy. You give it a good stir up. And what I'm thinking of doing is just putting a little touch here and there around the edge of the egg. And then I'm going to get my finger on there and play with that a little bit. Spread it out a bit. Give it a little bit of texture around the edges. Yeah, just gives it a little bit of something else. Might use a little bit of that on his spikes actually. Instead of my pen. Before I put the wings on as well, because I can actually get to his back at the moment. Time to let this all cure up, I think, and then I'll put his wings on.